But Ryan Clark, Mr. Ryan Clark, yeah, you another one. You make sure you look at me good when you listening and you paying attention to what I'm about to tell you. You know what I mean? Because the reality of things, Ryan Clark, Mr. Ryan Clark, you're losing your talent, brother. You was once a talented young man up there, but you're absolutely losing that talent now. You used to do a good job. Now you're going backwards in life, the life of a media personality. You are going absolutely backwards. I don't know if it's because of your favoritism. You gotta show love to the people that's a guest on your show, you know? Because I remember Ryan Clark. I remember you sat right there on that set and praised Jalen Ramsey. Yes, Jalen Ramsey, while degrading Trayvon Diggs when Trayvon Diggs had 10 interceptions. You feel me? And Ramsey only had 3 or 4 interceptions that season, I think. But Ramsey gave up 800 yards that season. Trayvon Diggs gave up a lot of yards as well. They wasn't too far apart. But Trayvon Diggs had 10 plus interceptions. You understand what I'm saying? But Ryan Clark, you tried to make Trayvon Diggs look bad because Ramsey was on your show that night, that day. And that wasn't play at all. Right then, I knew the type of person you was, homeboy. Yeah. Go back and pull up your show. Everybody go look at the show where Ryan Clark was going in on Trayvon Diggs, and Trayvon Diggs had all these interceptions. He gave up a lot of yards, but also did other cornerbacks. But he decided to praise one because he doesn't know nothing about playing cornerback and stats and getting the ball and making turnovers and so on and so forth. You know what I mean? So Ryan Clark is definitely someone that don't have a clue what the heck they talking about, you know what I mean? Or he's just a biased individual or has to show favoritism or something like that. But from the times that I seen him talk and speak on individuals, Ryan Clark that doesn't have a clue what he's talking about. And Ryan Clark, your words were, I'm a zone corner. I get hit with double moves. Stats doesn't matter. We could bring up all the stats we want, and it doesn't matter. That was your words. Not verbatim, but that was your words. But forget me guessing about what he said. Let's just listen to the clip.
Conversation about football. And you talk about 2 lions having a conversation. But one of them's Mufasa, though. The other one's Scar. Right? And don't get me wrong, in their own right, both of them were very powerful, right? But there's a reason why they got the Hall of Fame. There is no Hall of Very Good. Wow. Now, you can have the conversation between Asante and Deion Sanders when you're talking about technique. I train DBs, right? And by the time I get them there in college and in the league, I don't change anything they do. If you want a T-step, we're going to figure out how to make that efficient. If you're a bicycle guy, we're going to make sure that you don't run in place. Let's just fix that, right? That's a conversation we can have. But let's not stat watch, Asante. Let's not throw rocks at a tank. You were good. You played zone well. You had good eyes, right? But we cut the film on, like, you get cooked. Because your eyes, as good as they were in zone, they were bad in man, right? You could get double moved, right? We understood that. Deion Sanders shifted the power of the entire NFL. Deion Sanders played for one team, covered the other team's Hall of Famer, and won a Super Bowl. So the other team said, how do we beat that team? We can't get their quarterback. Let's go get the next best thing. Let's go get Deion Sanders. And then he went to the other team and covered the other Hall of Famer and won a Super Bowl with them. Yeah. And then, just when he got bored, he played offense. Before that, he was the best returner in football. And so I don't believe that the way you play in a career should preclude you from being able to have conversations about technique. But if Troy said something preposterous, I would text him and be like, TP, you know that's not right. Because intellectually, I could have that conversation with him. If Ed Reed said that, if Ronnie Lott said that. If Sean, God rest his soul, was here to say that, I'd be like, guys, like that's not right. But what I ain't gonna do is say, hey, let's pull out the film and look at these stats, and I'm gonna say that I'm as good as you were ever. Because that's not true, Asante Samuel. It's not a conversation. You are not in that conversation. Before you get in that conversation, it's a lot of people from your time playing in the league that's in that conversation more than you're in that conversation. And I get it. Being where we're from, where he's from, where I'm from, yeah, we.
All right, that's enough of that, Mr. Ryan Clark. Obviously, these people go up on these podcasts and formulate an opinion about us and have no clue about us. You understand? He hasn't watched me play. He hasn't broke down not one goddamn film about me. You see what I'm saying? I got one season where I gave up 141 yards off of 14 catches. But you'll sit up there on your platform instead of bringing me in and debating me so I can set everything straight with you, Mr. Ryan Clark. You will sit up there and just throw out all these crazy lies that you heard from the media. You haven't watched none of this stuff on film, and what you're watching on film, if you're watching me get beat, yes, everyone gets beat every once in a while, the good corners. You know what I mean? The name of the game is who gets beat the less and makes the most plays. It's very simple. Who gets beat the least and makes the most plays, Mr. Ryan Clark? Obviously, you have no clue about these type of conversations and things like that. You know what I mean? Then you try to say I'm a zone corner. You know what I mean? I play good in zone and I get beat in man because my eyes. You're just saying what a typical freaking commentator or broadcaster is supposed to say when a cornerback uses their eyes. No, I was the best at using my eyes. No, I didn't get beat much as other cornerbacks doing double moves and things like that. Pull it up. Yes, stats matter, homeboy. But obviously, the fame and the notoriety, you need people like you to talk about the young men, talk about them the correct way so they can get the flowers they deserve. All the old heads talked about me terribly, everybody. And first off, I played 2 seasons with Ty Law, one with him getting hurt. So I'm a zone corner, right? That's what y'all say. That's what he say. I'm a zone corner. And Ty Law is a lockdown corner. And we played on the same defense and the same team. But I'm a zone corner. And what happened? This is how you could tell greatness. This is how you separate average from greatness. There are stats, there's all the analytics you want to pull out there. You could pull it up. Bring me on your show. I'll show you how to pull it up. And I'll tell you all the analytics. But you scared, homeboy. We ain't talking about the fame and what somebody did. You have no clue what I did. I ended games just as well as you talking about. He covered Hall of Famers. What the hell is the difference? I intercept the ball at the end of the game. I intercept the ball during the beginning of the game and run it back. It's a turnover. Because somebody covered somebody well and I made a turnover that makes them better. No. Cornerback, you're supposed to stop a guy from covering somebody. You know what I mean? And like I said, this is how you know and understand if someone is really good. What happens when that person leaves? What happened when I left the Patriots? What happened when I left New England? The cornerback play went down for years. Cornerback play went down for I don't know how many years until you got, I don't want to name no names. Then you got some okay play. But you never got that top tier play, 10 interceptions, 7 interceptions in one season. You never got that top play again. And don't tell me about stats don't matter. Yes, they do, because I wasn't giving up no yards. You have to look at all the yards. You know what I mean? Then, after that, the zone corner goes to the Eagles and play in the same defense as Sheldon Brown, Lito Shepard, and Brian Dawkins. And let me guess, everybody before me in Philly wasn't a zone corner. But when I come, I'm a zone corner. I changed the whole goddamn defense. They changed it all around for me just so I can play zone. 10 other men on the field. Coach changed it around because I need to play zone. If that's the case, that's the same thing you're saying. Prime went here and they changed this and covered the guy and switched and shift the switch in the NFC and things like that. I go to a defense and they change the whole defense for me so I can make the team win, help the team win. What the heck? That's why stats do matter. Take away all the stats. What if you just take away all the stats? Then what do you got? You got nothing to talk about. And if we do take away the stats, y'all don't want to debate about the stats because guess what? That take away your voice. You can't have an opinion if they told you the facts and the stats told you the facts, all the stats. Then you can't have a voice and an opinion. That's all. Everybody can run around and say this person was good and that person was good, but no facts. Production makes you good, period, in life. Production. And there's no stat for good coverage. That's what you're supposed to do. And then what happened when I left Philly? The cornerback play went down. Every team that I played for and established myself, when I left, what happened? The cornerback play went down. The production went down. The interceptions went down. Then I go to the Falcons. If anybody know anything about football and you got a little football history, I go to the Falcons, Nolan Ryan's defense. He barely has any zone coverage for cornerbacks. Guess who else played in his defense, if I'm not mistaken? Champ Bailey, when he was in Washington, D.C., he played in the same defense as Nolan Ryan. But guess what? They labeled me as a zone corner. That lets you know they don't know what the freak they're talking about. Because I'm off the ball and I decide not to press, you think I'm in zone coverage. How much of an idiot do you feel? Everybody, I'm not just talking to one person. If y'all think I just played zone coverage, you have to feel like an idiot. Honestly, think about it. I don't make the calls. The defensive coordinator has to make the call. And once again, what happens when I leave the Falcons? The cornerback play goes down. Ryan Clark, brother, you are just another podcaster that needs to get the heck out of here. If you're going to speak on me, at least speak the truth. Right? At least know what you're talking about. Speak the truth of facts. Don't just go out there throwing some random stuff around when you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Like I said, you can easily bring me up there and we could have talked about it. But no, I promise you don't know nothing about my game and my stats and things like that. You only know what Google told you. You don't know the impact I had in Philly and the impact I had in New England and the impact I had in one season in Atlanta. Everywhere I go, I had an impact. What are you talking about? What makes you great? You don't even know what greatness is because you have no clue. No one around you ever put up the stats of greatness. But at the end of the day, still no one has presented me with no facts and debated me with no facts or no stats. You know what I mean? And you know what? Listening to Ryan Clark, it sounds like he must have had a production meeting with Shannon Sharp or something to compare notes because everybody's singing the same tune, except for Cam Newton. And we're going to get into Cam Newton. Shout out to Cam Newton, you know what I mean? Y'all singing the same tune and running away from the argument that I started or debate that came from me. Everybody want to twist it and put their 2 cents on the way they want it to be. You know? But let's do it ourselves, right? Twitter, chat the audience right now, right? We can do their job for them since they so, I don't know, celebrity struck or favoritism or bias or I need this person to come help me, so I ain't gonna talk about them. Let's help everyone out. Let's help Shannon Sharp out and let's help Ryan Clark out, right? I assume Coach Prime Deion Sanders' best season was, I don't know what year it was, but he had like 6 interceptions and 3 interceptions for touchdowns, right? I think he won Defensive Player of the Year. So I'm sure that's his best season, right? Now you take one of my best seasons, right? That's his season. 6 interceptions, 3 for touchdowns. I'm not sure how many passes defended he had that year. I think he had like 303 return yards and something like that. Now you take one of my best seasons. Right? I got a couple of them, but I don't know which one is the best. But we could take one of my best seasons. 10 interceptions, 24 passes defended, and 2 more interceptions in the playoffs. 1 for a touchdown. I think I had about 100, close to 200 yards, returning yards. You know what I mean? And you go from there. Who had the better season? Whether you got to break the film down, go talk to the Pro Football Weekly, get analytics, or whatever you got to do. It's that simple. You can't say that 10 interceptions can't compare with, I don't care who you talking about. It sounds foolish. It sounds straight foolish. And then, or you could take my 2010 season when I gave up 14 receptions and had 7 interceptions with 24 pass breakups. It was a 1 out of 5 chance the ball was going to be intercepted every 5 times they were throwing the ball to me, something like that. I think I got it right. You know what I mean? But right now, to me, man, Ryan Clark, man, he's acting like a puppet assigned to a label with no creative control, and he must do what he is told to do.